Well, good afternoon, everyone. Last evening, we had an election. The election's over. Donald Trump is the president-elect. As governor and lieutenant governor, we will continue to work to govern and to lead and to work to improve the lives of people in our great state of Massachusetts. We will also support, of course, the peaceful transfer of power. I also want to acknowledge that in Massachusetts and across the country today, there are many people who are very happy. There are also many people in Massachusetts and across the country who are very unhappy and who are having a hard time and are not pleased with the results. Many in our state are worried about their future. This is a moment to acknowledge those concerns, and it's also a moment for resolve. This is a time to come together. We see so much anger and division across the country, but I know Massachusetts is a place and will be a place where we care about each other and we look after one another. So whoever you are, whoever you voted for, know that we're going to continue to work together and move forward. I am a governor, and the LG is a lieutenant governor for everyone, and we will work with anyone to make life better for residents in our state. In moments like this, I also think it's important to remind everyone that this great country of ours is bigger than any one person alone. We all have a role to play in building the kind of community, state, and country that we want to be and that we want for our children. So it is up to all of us to chart the path forward. This is Massachusetts. We've been doing that for close to 250 years. People will look to us to lead. And that's what I, the lieutenant governor, and our entire administration are ready to do. We're going to do it with all of our residents, and we're going to do it by staying true to things that we care about. And we're going to do it by continuing to push forward on the things that make Massachusetts so great. Driving down high housing costs by building more homes, driving a strong, innovation-based economy that thrives from life sciences to robotics to advanced manufacturing. Amplifying and taking care of things that we really value, like our public education. We're going to continue to keep working to make sure that Massachusetts remains number one and that we have the best public education in the country, from early ed to higher ed. We value access to health care, also tops in the country. We're going to continue to work to make sure that residents have access to the best care in the country and the highest rate of coverage. We care about the climate and our environment. We're going to continue to lead on offshore wind energy, climate tech innovation, and good jobs. We care about our veterans, and in this lead up to Veterans Day, we will be celebrating them. Tomorrow, we're marking a milestone in this administration in the rebuilding of the Holyoke Veterans Home. We're ahead of schedule, turning this into a world-class facility for our veterans. We're also a place where we will always stand up for people's rights and freedoms, where women will have control over their own health care decisions, and where every person is respected, valued, and heard. Whoever you are, wherever you were born, whomever you love. That was true yesterday, it's true today, and it will be true tomorrow. That's my promise to all of you. I remember after Kim and I were elected, we visited Girls Inc. It's a nonprofit that runs after-school programs for girls to help them grow into strong leaders. We wanted to share that moment with them as the first all-female team elected in the country's history. It was a moment of great hope and optimism. We went there to inspire them, but they, of course, inspired us. And know that every day out there, we see incredible works by people all across the state. Incredible organizations, incredible colleges and universities, incredible schools, incredible companies. So much good is happening in our state and from this state. And that's going to continue. And we're going to work together. We're going to lead in Massachusetts. It's who we are. It's who we will be. We've always understood that the arc of history is long. Massachusetts has been a state that shows this country where it is going, not where it's been. That's the Massachusetts we know and love. That's the Massachusetts we'll work for every day. And now it's time for all of us to get to work and show the way. Thank you.
Governor, as Attorney General, you sued the Trump administration about 100 times. How do you feel like you can work with that administration?
I know that the Attorney General will be having a press conference shortly, and I'm sure she'll speak to some of that. But look, you know, as governor, I will continue to do everything in my power to advocate for, fight for, take care of, and nurture residents and businesses in Massachusetts. And we'll do that across a variety of ways. I think I've spoken quite a bit about Donald Trump and my feelings about him. We have to see whether he makes good on what he promised and ran on in terms of Project 2025 or other things. But you know, we'll make sure that we are doing everything within our power as an administration to take steps necessary to bring about the very best for residents, for our economy here. I think that last night you saw from the exit polls some of the focus, people's attention on the economy. We've been working very hard here as a team to address economic concerns here in Massachusetts. We cut taxes right out of the gate. We've worked to make childcare more affordable, to make housing more affordable with the successful passing and my signing of the Affordable Homes Act. And we're continuing to get after costs every single day.
Governor, even though the Vice President won here in Massachusetts, Trump won a larger share than in past elections. The Mass GOP here picked up seats in the legislature. In New Hampshire, Republicans won the governor's office. What did Democrats underestimate or miss here in New England? And whether that's the same as across the country with what happened this election?
I think that results here were pretty much consistent with what they've been historically. I think that Donald Trump picked up a couple, 3 more percentage points maybe in the Massachusetts vote. New Hampshire, interestingly, you know, it was a close election. It's always, you know, a close election in my home state of New Hampshire. But you know, in terms of these elections, you know, there are some won, some lost. I look forward to working with the legislature here in the next session. There's a lot we want to do and a lot we want to accomplish. But I think the larger question is really, you know, as a country, where do we stand right now and where are we going? And I know that, you know, I speak for myself and the Lieutenant Governor in saying that, you know, here in Massachusetts, we're going to continue to lean into the things that make our state so great. There's a reason why we're #1 in education and innovation and access to health care, why we're ranked the #1 state to live if you're a woman or have a baby or want to raise a family. And, you know, there's a lot of wonderful things happening in Massachusetts. There's a lot of wonderful people doing great work in government and outside of government. And we're going to be an administration that continues to partner with all of them.
What are the lessons you think that Democrats can learn from this? What are the lessons you think that, what's the takeaway? You know, where did you go wrong? Where did the Democrats go wrong?
I think that, you know, that's a subject for a lot of discussion, right? I mean, people will be looking at the results that are still coming through and parsing through that. But I think, you know, the lesson in part is around the economy and the messaging around that. You know, you guys have seen, I mean, the Biden-Harris administration, Massachusetts has really benefited from the Biden-Harris administration, the funding that we've been able to make through them, through the IRA, through the CHIPS and Science Act. I mean, these are transformative pieces of legislation that are really benefiting our state, helping us grow our economy, helping us grow jobs. The recent award of ARPA-H, right, recognizing us as a hub of life sciences and medical innovation. And so we want to work to make sure that continues. It's also the case that, you know, I think people across the country, at least by exit polls, and again, there's more analysis to be done here, were making a statement in part about how they were feeling in terms of their own personal wealth or lack thereof. And others and economists have spoken to this, right? You know, what the Biden-Harris administration did in terms of navigating us through COVID and this pandemic, you saw the report in the Wall Street Journal and others who've reported, top economists, that the next president will inherit the strongest economy possible. But it's taking time with inflation and what happened with COVID for people to see that in their own checkbooks. And that's part of the communication challenge. You know, I know what the Biden-Harris administration did for Massachusetts. I know, you've reported, right? The billions of dollars that have come in, millions of dollars, billions now that have come in, over $8 billion. Important investments that we're making in infrastructure, in transportation, right, in housing, in climate resilience. Ultimately, these are all investments in jobs and a growing economy. Getting people to understand that and the importance of those investments, and that the right policymakers be in place in Washington and here is I think needs to be a continuing effort and work of everybody in office. And
Governor, you spent many days out of state campaigning for Joyce Craig and Kamala Harris. They both lost. Meanwhile, back home, the MCAS question you posed marched to victory, and like Matt said, local Republicans gained 2 seats in the legislature. In hindsight, should you have spent more time campaigning here in Massachusetts rather than beyond the Bay State borders?
no, I mean, look, people may not agree with my positions, but I'm always going to be clear about what my positions are and who I'm backing and why. We knew, like I say, we knew New Hampshire was going to be close. The reason I was in New Hampshire is because, my mom and dad still live there. I grew up there. I played sports there, went to school there, worked there. I got a lot of friends. I care a lot about that state. And, we have a very close relationship. I mean, literally as border states. And there's a lot of commerce and work going on between the states, and people coming from New Hampshire to Massachusetts to work, people going from Massachusetts to New Hampshire to vacation. So no, I'm proud of the campaign that Joyce Craig ran. She would be a great governor, and the folks in the Great Granite State decided. Look, in terms of other ballot questions and the like, I was out there with my position, but, I recognize I'm just one vote. So we'll move on to other things. What's that?
The federal funds bill that you signed recently,
Yeah.
is that essentially moved under a Trump administration, and do you wish that the legislature had acted on that sooner?
No, it's a really important piece of legislation. I'm glad we have it in the books. It will continue to be important, and we're going to continue to work with the next Congress and the next administration in securing as much as we can in terms of federal funding.
Massachusetts
Yeah.
be able to reach its clean energy goals with the Trump administration?
Well, I sure hope so, right? Look, we're full steam ahead, and we are not taking our foot off the pedal at all. That's what we're going to do. And whether it's meeting our climate goals, whether it's building the climate tech infrastructure that I think can make us the global hub for climate tech, building on a thriving life sciences innovation-based economy, continuing to support our students who are top of the country right now, continuing to support our incredible teaching hospitals and our academic institutions. There is so much good, and I get to see the benefit of it every day as we're out and about around this great state, people and organizations and companies doing great things. And so that's my expectation, and that's what we're going to continue to work for every single day, to make sure that we are driving Massachusetts and this region forward.
Can you talk about the MCAS and what are next steps with this, and are you going to move to put some new standards in place?
The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education will be out with guidance shortly on that. So we'll hear from them shortly about this. But the voters spoke on that question, and I'm not gonna. I don't know what will come as of just yet.
You wouldn't entertain any effort to change those laws, I take it from what you said.
The voters have spoken on this, and I think what's important now is that DESE move forward in getting out the appropriate guidance right now in terms of implementation. I'll review anything that comes to my desk, but I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals. Yep. Yep. What's that?
What's the plan on abortion rights if the national abortion ban does come to pass?
I mean, this is one area that I think we acted on out of the gate. I'm grateful to the legislature here for taking steps to protect women's access to abortion, to protect women's access to medication abortion, and to protect providers of abortion care as well. That will continue, and I signed an executive order also to ensure that we have full access to needed health care, including abortion care in the state. I also stockpiled mifepristone, as you know, so, we are, that's something that we're very committed to, and we'll make sure that women are, and those who need care are protected here in Massachusetts, always, always.
Do you have any thoughts about Secretary Galvin launching an investigation into some of those ballot issues in Boston, the ballot shortages that were happening there?
I don't, that's an issue for Secretary Galvin in the city, okay? Thank you, guys.
Governor, you ready
Thank
for
you.
re-election in 2026?
2026?
Are you ready for re-election?
I think it's a little early to make any announcements. We're dealing with this election. I love my job, and, my message today to everybody in Massachusetts is that we see you. We see you. Whether you voted for the president-elect or not, we see you. Whether you're feeling a lot of feelings today, and maybe scared or feeling vulnerable, know that we see you. And, we're going to work together as an administration to make sure that we're doing what the people of Massachusetts voted for us to do when they put us in this office. Thank you, Val.